All right, we are moving on to page 3 in our digital notebook. I did notice I need to fix that. All right, so the first question we're going to look at, the art and literature from what period still influences the Indian culture today? Let's go ahead and listen. You'll find that in this green highlighted text.
What was Gupta culture like? Around the time of the Guptas, artists produced great literature, painting, and architecture. The art and literature of the Gupta period still influence Indian culture today. Much of this art was religious. While Buddhism remained important under the Guptas favored Hinduism.
All right, again, in this green paragraph, the answer to this question, the art and literature from what period still influences the Indian culture today? Get that answer now. All right, let's move on. We're going to look at number 2. Who was Kalidasa? You'll find the answer in this first circled paragraph. Let me move my face out of the way. Let's go ahead and listen.
A flowering of literature. Under Gupta rule, literature flourished. The greatest writer of the time was the poet Kalidasa, who wrote plays and poetry in the ancient language of Sanskrit. A popular form of literature was the fable. A fable is a short story with a moral or lesson at the end. One Indian fable describes 2 frogs that fell into a pail of milk and could not jump out. They swam for a long time. Then one of the frogs gave up hope and drowned. The other frog kept swimming. Eventually, the swimming frog churned the milk into butter and was able to jump out safely. The lesson of this fable is to keep trying even when things look hopeless.
All right, again, number 2. Who was Kalidasa? You'll find that answer in this circled yellow text. All right, we're going to move on our last 2 questions. Number 3, you'll find in this blue text. What 2 types of instruments did musicians play? And 4, you'll find that answer in this highlighted or circled paragraph. Which game was invented in India?
Music, dance, and entertainment. Music and dance thrived during the Gupta period. Dancers created works based on Hindu literature. Musicians played stringed instruments and drums. Some forms of Indian drama combined stories, dance, and music. Performers with elaborate makeup and costumes told stories through song and dance. The game of chess was invented under the Guptas. From India, the game moved along trade routes both east into other parts of Asia and west into the Middle East and Europe.
All right, again, number 3. What 2 types of instruments did musicians play? You'll find the answer in this blue highlighted paragraph. And number 4, which game was invented in India? You'll find the answer in this circled yellow paragraph.
Architecture and painting. Hindus and Buddhists built many temples and monasteries during this time. Stonecutters carved some temple buildings from rock. Architects also built impressive freestanding temples and monasteries. Both rock-carved and freestanding temples show good engineering skills. Just after the Gupta period, Indians carved temples and monasteries into the rocks of cliffs. In central India, the rock-cut shrines of Ellora contain brilliant sculptures and paintings.
All right, we are on page 4 of our digital notebook now. This first question will be in this green highlighted paragraph. What 2 things brought the learning of Greece and Persia to India?
Mathematics and science. During the Gupta period, trade and invasion brought the learning of Greece and Persia to India. Indian scholars drew on this learning to make advances of their own in mathematics and science.
All right, again, what two things brought the learning of Greece and Persia to India? That answers in this green highlighted paragraph. Number 2, you'll find right here in this circled yellow text. How did advancements during the Gupta period transform mathematics? Let's go ahead and listen.
The decimal system. Indian mathematicians developed the concept of zero as a number and as a numeral, or a symbol used to represent a number. Probably the greatest advance was the decimal system, a counting system based on units of 10. Together, these advances were the basis for what we know as the Hindu-Arabic or Arabic numerals in use worldwide today.
Number 2, how did advancements during the Gupta period transform mathematics? You'll find the answer in this circled yellow paragraph. All right, next, question number 3. Who was Aryabhata? Aryabhata. Let's try that. Who was this person? Let's go ahead and listen to these 3 paragraphs, and you'll find who was Aryabhata. We'll see how it's pronounced in this, red paragraph.
A new world of mathematics. Combining a decimal system with a numeral for zero transformed mathematics. With the new Indian system of numerals, multiplication and division became much easier. This new system opened the way for other advances in mathematics, such as algebra. Astronomy. Aryabhata was an important Indian astronomer and mathematician. In 499 CE, Aryabhata wrote a mathematics book on arithmetic, algebra, and trigonometry. Hundreds of years later, mathematicians in Europe relied on Aryabhata's work to calculate the area of triangles and the volume of spheres.
Again, number 3, who was Aryabhata? You'll find that answer in this pink paragraph. All right, moving on to our last page, number 4. Aryabhata was the first astronomer to discover what about the moon? It talks about different things he discovers and figures out, but what did he discover about the moon? You'll find the answer in this blue highlighted paragraph.
Astronomy. Aryabhata was the first astronomer to state that the Earth rotates or spins on its axis to create day and night. He discovered that eclipses were caused by the motion of Earth and the moon. Aryabhata also discovered that the moon shines because it reflects sunlight.
Number 4, Aryabhata was the first astronomer to discover what about the moon? Get that answer from this blue paragraph. Number 5, what is Ayurvedic? You will hear that answer in this green paragraph.
Medicine. Indian doctors made progress in medical science as well. They developed a system of medicine known as Ayurveda. Ancient Ayurvedic medical textbooks describe many different diseases and how to treat medical problems. They also explain how to make hundreds of medicines from plants, animal parts, and minerals.
Number 5, what is Ayurvedic? You'll find the answer in this green highlighted paragraph. Last question, what is the famous example of metallurgy? You'll find what the name of it is in this pink highlighted paragraph.
Metallurgy. Gupta artisans also made progress in metallurgy, the science that deals with extracting metal from ore and using it to create useful objects. The Iron Pillar of Delhi is a famous example of their skill in producing metal compounds of great quality. This 23-foot-high column was made from a single piece of iron. It has stood outside for more than 1,500 years without turning to rust.
Number 6, what is the famous example of metallurgy? It names it in this pink paragraph here.